My husband Mark introduced me to his biggest investor as his assistant 5 minutes after I fixed his tie and rehearsed his pitch with him in the car. He had been begging me for weeks to come to this corporate gala. He kept saying, "Sarah, I need you there, you're my charm. If I land this deal, we're set for life." So, I didn't just show up. I invested. I spent 3 days finding a vintage emerald silk gown that cost half my paycheck. I booked a professional blowout. I even memorized the bios of every board member he needed to impress, so I could help him network. When I walked into the living room that night, Mark didn't even look up from his phone. He just muttered, "Car's here," and walked out the door. "No, you look beautiful. No thank you. Nothing." The drive was silent. I tried to hold his hand, but he pulled away to check his emails. When we got to the venue, the moment the valet took the keys, Mark turned into a different person, charming, laughing, magnetic, but not to me. He made a beeline for the bar with his colleagues, leaving me standing on the sidewalk in 4-inch heels. I found him 10 minutes later, in a circle of suits. I walked up, smiling, ready to play the supportive wife. Mark glanced at me annoyed and handed me his empty glass. "Babe, could you grab me a refill and maybe stand over by the buffet? We're talking strategy here." I felt my face burn. The man next to him asked, "Is this the wife you're always talking about?" Mark laughed nervously. "Oh no, she's just helping me out tonight. Basically my assistant for the evening." I didn't say a word. I just set his empty glass on a passing tray and walked away. I found a quiet spot on the balcony overlooking the city, fighting back tears. I felt humiliated. I had dressed up like a trophy just to be treated like staff. I was staring at the traffic below when a deep voice spoke from the shadows. "That shade of green is dangerous." I turned around. An older man, maybe in his 50s, with silver hair and a tuxedo that cost more than my car, was leaning against the railing. He wasn't looking at the view, he was looking at me. "I'm sorry," I stammered, wiping my cheek. "The dress," he said, stepping into the light. "It's vintage 1950s, isn't it? My mother had one just like it. It's the most elegant thing in this entire room. And yet, the man you came with hasn't looked at you once." I let out a bitter laugh. "He's busy securing his future. He's an idiot," the man said plainly. He extended a hand. "I'm Julian. And if that man was smart, he'd realize the future is standing right here on this balcony." For the next 20 minutes, Julian didn't look at his phone. He didn't look over my shoulder for someone more important. He asked me about my job, my writing, my life. He noticed my earrings, he noticed me. Suddenly, the glass door slid open. It was Mark. He looked frantic, sweating. When he saw who I was talking to, the color drained from his face. "Mr. Sterling," Mark gasped, rushing over. I didn't know you were out here. I've been trying to find you all night to pitch you on the merger." Julian, Mr. Sterling, the billionaire owner of the company Mark was trying to impress and even look at Mark. He kept his eyes on me. "I've already heard the pitch, Mark," Julian said coldly, "but, frankly, I'm more interested in why you treated this stunning woman like a waitress instead of a partner." Mark stammered. She's my wife, sir." Julian finally looked at Mark, his expression filled with pity. "Then, you don't deserve the deal, or her." Julian offered me his arm. "Sarah, would you like to get dinner? Somewhere they appreciate the company." I looked at Mark, breathless and panicked. Then I looked at Julian. I smiled, took Julian's arm and said, "I'd love to." We walked past Mark without looking back, leaving him alone on the balcony with nothing but his empty glass.